Hi everyone, welcome back to Two Girls
Real
Real
Talk.
Talk. I am Sarah and
I'm
this is Sastra, and today we want to talk about um, feminism and anti-feminism. It's about relationship, respect, double standard, some of the things that men think that we annoy them, and what men do to annoy us. And in life and in general with like friends who have spoken to us. So Sastra, take it away.
So today I want to ask the one of the main questions. Do you think women are happy today compared to long ago?
For me, I think I think long ago people were contented with what they have had with their family. They didn't know better. And
Okay.
I think, for example, my mom, she was contented in life. But looking back, it's like, why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that?
Mm-hmm.
And now for me, I am working 8 hours a day. I'm coming home to do this, do that, whatever the house needs, and like I feel I'm independent.
That is the main thing. That is what I actually think. Independence play a huge role in the
Yeah,
happiness today
yeah,
versus long time. Because if you think about it, long ago when there was domestic violence,
they still
cheating.
have that.
They still have that. No, don't get me wrong, they still have
Yeah,
it. But when they had that, the women was dependent because they weren't working,
no,
so they had to stay into that toxic
yeah.
relationship. And
They would say, sometime I hear from distant family or distant friend, they would say, where am I going to go?
mhm,
I have no money.
mhm.
He makes the money. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do?
Yes.
You know?
That's exactly. And the thing is, the man take for granted that the woman will always be there.
Yeah.
These days, I think they have more, a happier perspective because of their independence. They could walk away. And, long ago, too, they always frowned on divorce. Now I think it's more prominent. What do you
Yeah.
think?
But for me, like the older ones, they still have that mentality.
Yes.
The wife is going to be home no matter what. Now, the younger generation, 1 or 2 years, they're having problems done with it.
Exactly. And you see, thing is, this is the thing. This is where feminism comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
The males these days, and I've noticed that with the younger generation, the males these days, they are looking at all the social media and everything, and they are seeing that, with everything that is more open, the way men talk to women, they are frowned upon. Sometimes where men look down on women.
Now, men,
Uh-huh.
on the other hand, will
Uh-huh.
say the opposite. Men will say that women disrespect them, women talk down to them.
They have more power.
Yeah, like, oh, why they have to talk to us like that?
Yeah.
Why can't we sit in front of the TV and just watch sports and they have to tell us something? So like it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. No,
Yeah.
I understand that it goes both ways. um but the younger generation, I think they are more understanding compared to the older generation, where they still have that old time way of thinking,
Own mentality.
older
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
So you know that's something to think about. They are happier now because of the way that the old time mentality is frowned upon, versus the newer generation, how they look at women on the whole as a person versus a commodity.
So our next segment of feminism, anti-feminism, is what feminism got right. What and what it missed.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay, so I think feminism allowed women to be a lot more stronger these days, versus back then they had less confidence. They're able to do more. They're able to say, you know what, I'm not wrong. I guess, with
They gain that
yeah, they
strength.
gain that strength to
For-
say,
yeah.
to stand up and say, no,
And what do you
I'm not
think
wrong.
caused that? Do you think TV? Do you think the
Oh,
working
social media. Social media has a lot to do with
definitely.
it, They, because just like everything, everybody is exposed to a lot more what other people think. Like,
Hmm.
for instance, you may be saying something here back in the days before all these things were out. Nobody could express except in an
That's why they
advertisement.
say kids know more
Now,
now than what we knew
yeah,
then. Yeah,
exactly,
Because
exactly,
kids are exposed to everything out there,
exactly.
which can hurt them in one way
It can
also.
hurt them in one way because there's a lot of exposure.
Hmm.
Talking about what it missed,
Yeah.
I think regarding feminism, I think some women, not all, take it a little too far. They think they're too right, regardless of if they're wrong,
Right.
and they can do something thinking, "Oh, I have rights." But yes, you have rights, but you have to understand it goes both ways. So I think that's where it went wrong, where it missed.
I'm not sure. Like, what you mean? Like, what we miss in becoming
To
stronger
in
woman?
understanding
Oh,
what independence, what's feminism, what strength, what confidence actually means, because
okay.
I mean, you don't want to go too far. You lose in every person around you, every
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
you, thinking you have all rights to do whatever you want. I mean,
You're protecting
you
yourself.
practice
Women try to protect them, and I guess
a
men
little
too.
too
Men
much.
men try to protect themselves if they see a woman too headstrong.
Yes,
They might like back off in the dating aspect of this
exactly.
generation.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
They will be intimidated.
yeah, very intimidated, and they back down. So nobody's trying to understand each other.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. They just don't want to deal with that
they're looking for
nonsense.
faults.
Yes.
Long time when you dating someone,
You
you're
take
not,
it or leave it.
you take it or leave it. You're not, well, in my days, you date someone and that's the person, and you they will have flaws, but you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Until long and after marriage, you want to know, oh my God, did I see that
Oh yeah,
before?
that's another thing. Talking about that. But these days people are actually living with each other before they actually get married.
Younger
So
generation, which
yes.
is to me is
I
amazing.
I think that's actually a good thing,
Yeah.
because within your first year of marriage, you think that's where you get to know the person.
Mhm.
You actually get to know the person that you're with, and there's going to be a lot of disagreements, a lot of arguments, a
Yeah.
lot of fights. Just getting to know that person, and communication, of course, is the best key. So, you know, to eliminate that, you start dating, you live with that person, and say, okay, well, you know what? Do I want to be with this person for the rest of my life? Once you
Yeah.
get married, tough luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
not
not,
necessarily tough luck.
yeah,
But
once you get married in our
yeah,
generation,
yes,
there's nothing like,
divorce.
you might think it, you might see the social media now, but it's not part of a marriage in our culture.
In that culture, but in your mind, really, because
Yeah.
in our culture, long ago, it had divorce too. It's just in your
It was hidden,
mind.
it was secret.
It was very hidden. It was
Yeah.
frowned upon or
Yeah.
whatnot like that. But
Yeah. It's like a
um,
taboo. Oh my God,
yeah,
they divorced or they
yes.
left each other, something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's not fair, because then they'll look at the work. Back then, the wife would be, oh, she's a divorcee.
Yeah.
But then the man, oh, he had a wife already. He's
And then I remember a long time, if somebody's divorced
Huh.
and they get married to somebody else, those people don't want it. Like the new
Yeah,
in-laws
yeah,
don't want it.
yeah.
It's like, oh my God, he's a divorcee or they have a
Yes,
child.
yes.
They don't want it. So it
No.
was frowned upon.
It was very frowned
Now,
upon.
nowadays,
It's very more
I
open.
think it's different.
Yeah,
Like, I think
it's open.
different.
So okay, talking about relationships.
Mhm.
Why do good women stay in bad relationships? What do you
Ooh.
think is that? What do you think? Why would you think that?
You guys tell us why you think that, because there are a lot of good women out there who stay in bad relationship. I could tell you, from friends, from life, from family, most time, and this is some generation to my
Uh-huh.
mom time, my grandparents time.
Yeah.
They stay because of kids.
Kids, a huge thing, because they want the kids to not have a broken home.
Yeah.
But a disadvantage in that.
Yes. For me, I think the disadvantage is that sometimes the kids become rage and angry, living in a an abused home.
Yeah.
They're not seeing that love. They only seeing fighting, so they think
That's what
that's okay.
and that's another thing too.
Yeah.
They would actually think that's okay. So even if they're in a toxic relationship, they wouldn't want to leave, because they'll think, oh, that's normal.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
normal. Toxicity is not normal.
yeah.
So
I
that's
actually
one of the
I have
reasons.
a friend.
Mhm.
I have a friend who said that she was an abused relationship, abused
Abusive.
family, abusive family.
Uh-huh.
She had issues with her mom, with her stepdad, that they kicked her out, and the mom stayed with the stepdad. And then she told me, she said her sister is in that same mentality because of what her mom went through. The sister think is okay, and
Mhm.
the husband is ill-treating the sister.
Oh.
And she actually told me, I think my sister is allowing it because this is what she knows,
Oh.
and that's a fact. This is what she knows. And so it's sad to see that people, even though we're in modern time
Mhm.
and there's so many social media out there to talk about it, some people are afraid to talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
And that is why they stay in certain things. If they know other people are going
Going
through the
through the
same
same
thing,
thing, yes.
they get that strength, and they
And
get that strength to be stronger too.
that is true. And this is where social media comes into play too, because a lot of people before, you wouldn't know they're going through the same thing. Social media actually explains that, okay, well, they're not alone.
Right.
There are other people going through the same thing. They have people to talk to, and they can, you know um you know come out of that. But
I'm not saying to go divorce,
yeah.
or I'm not saying, like, take your kids and leave,
No.
but
Know your worth.
yeah, know your worth and try to make it work. And of course, for me, somebody put their hand on you, to hell with it. Done. Yeah. No woman, no man should accept something like that. If you start fighting and physically fighting and hitting each other, and your kids are seeing that, you know you need to leave. And I know it's easier said than
Oh
done,
yeah.
because financially, maybe the wife or the husband have nowhere to go, the wife have nowhere to go, no money.
But this is where the independence comes from.
That's where the independence and strength
Comes from,
Yeah.
too. You know, you the strength to actually walk away from a long term
that
relationship.
that I'm sure that is tough for
That's a tough
individual
one.
to walk away,
Yes,
whether
yes.
it's a man or woman.
Yeah.
It is that would be a tough, because you build a life.
Yeah,
You have your house, you have your this, you have your that. Where you gonna go?
yeah, and
You know.
yeah. But the thing is, as we mentioned, if we stay in this kind of toxic relationships or whatever, it's gonna bring down the kids.
Yeah. To continue on this topic, um, what do you think? What do you think the Caribbean upbringing, compare the Caribbean upbringing to modern life?
Modern life upbringing.
Yeah, modern life
Oh well,
upbringing.
then the Caribbean, that goes to. I mean,
I guess it's the same thing like what we
same
just
thing.
talked about.
Long ago, the way
Mhm.
people used to think, marriage is forever.
Mhm.
You know, you have to stay regardless of what you you're not the breadwinner, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're dependent on that person, but it's not fair.
Right.
So
And again, it leads to social media, and people, you speaking to people
right,
who, like, not even if the person went through the same thing, just speaking to someone about your problem.
anybody, a therapist,
Yeah, not
friend.
right. Speaking to anyone, you build that courage and that strength just to not be overstressed. Next topic, and you guys tell us what you think. Now we talk about women and men, but this topic, what men says to upset we women. I have a few.
Relax.
Or yeah, or like,
Calm down.
calm down. That pisses me, and it gets me more mad.
It drives me nuts.
Like, why? They know that we don't like that. Why do they say that?
yeah, there are better ways to say
Yeah,
that.
or ignore us.
Now, if we go around and say the same thing,
Oh my God, they and
all hell break loose.
and simple thing, like, like, why we get angry, and I think so.
Mhm.
You would be asking them a question, and they will not answer you until you get mad.
And that's the thing. It goes with respect.
Yes,
Respect. You don't respect because have an I don't know, a feminism. You don't respect women.
I
This
I
is
would
what I'm
think
thinking.
so.
If you respect someone, would you treat them that way?
No,
Right.
no.
So exactly. So it's
If your boss is calling you,
yeah.
would you ignore them,
No.
whether you respect them or not? That whether they're your boss or not, you respect that title.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna ignore your boss
No.
or your like longtime parents. You can't ignore them because
Oh
they would
no.
take something and fling it at you. Yeah, I got some of that.
Big butt spoon.
I got some of that when I was growing up. Yeah.
You get a butt spoon behind you?
Mommy, yeah.
What?
Mommy licked me down with something a couple times.
You? And then,
Daddy never do that. Poor mommy had 8 kids, so I forgive her. Yeah. But but
oh,
men nowadays, I think they take their wife. Some men
yeah, take their wives for
take their
granted.
wives for granted because we do a lot in the house, and we have our jobs, and and we come home, and then one little ignore, it just trigger me. So that is something men have to think before they
I mean, it goes both ways too.
it goes both
Yeah,
ways
you have to think about it before you
for more
talk.
men.
Feminism at its max, yeah. A lot of times men actually, I keep saying men, but that's the feminism in me. People say women are so emotional during their period, during a menstrual cramps, but a menstrual cycle or whatever. But do you know that during your menstrual cycle, your estrogen level decreases and your testosterone level increases? So who really has the
Explain that a little better to some men.
testosterone is what the man's supposed to have now. I think we're going on a tangent here because of the we have so much of feminism in us. We think in this is something that most men have, but I think it goes both ways.
Like long time when women have kids and they go through that postpartum depression,
Yeah.
nobody knew about it, and I remember, of course, my kids are nearly 10 now. Nearly 40. So, and then now some men are reading about their wives and postpartum depression and things like that.
Understanding it now.
Understanding, some men are doing it
That's why I think more now these days it's better than before.
But before, nobody knew like that. They might think, oh, she crazy,
Yeah.
she going mad.
Yeah.
Seriously. And women went through so much before, and never, you cry,
You don't know how to
think,
explain it.
yeah, you're going through a problem, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why am I so sad? And nowadays, it's changing
Hormone
a little bit.
imbalance, yeah.
Hormone imbalance. Yeah.
So this is a topic that I don't know if you think we should talk about. The pay grade between men and women.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Yeah. So there's some sayings that the men in a same level versus a woman would get more pay in the same job, same responsibility, same time they've been there. They would get more pay versus a woman, and it's according to what I've
Do
heard.
you think it's still a man's world? That's the thing. Nowadays, compared to then, do you think it's still a man's world?
I don't think so. There's
Okay.
some seriously amazing women bosses.
Yeah.
Mine for sure.
I met a few that is like amazing, They people person. They respect everyone. They in such a high position, and they in so many non-profit organizations that they support.
There's a lot of support.
Yeah, there's a lot of support with women, but some people, we have spoken to a few friends of ours,
Yeah.
and they still think that men within their same level, same education, same status, same years of experience, the men are paid more.
Yes, it's true.
So
I've heard
that's
of
why
that.
we're bringing up the topic.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
Let us know in the comments what you think.
What do you think? Yeah.
So another topic I want to talk about too. Women's rights when it comes to abortions. That is a very serious topic these days. That is a very sore topic these days. Because
it has always been a sore topic.
I heard somewhere that it says, why put on why put a bulletproof vest when you can take the bullets out of the gun? Why not snip it rather than use contraceptives?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in a case like this, when a woman gets pregnant, why is it her responsibility? Why is it her fault? Why is it her if she goes, it's against the law if she does the abortion. She should have the rights. Of course, there's a limit to that, because you're not going to go when your belly is fully formed and blah blah blah.
For me, have the baby and give it up for an adoption.
At that point,
Yes.
at that point, in
Yeah.
the beginning, say for instance a rape victim,
Right. 100%. I believe.
yeah.
A lot of people might disagree with me,
Mhm.
but I believe if you've been raped and you got pregnant and you choose to have an abortion,
Mhm.
that's your right.
That's your right.
I believe that's your right.
100% you're
Yeah.
right. Why should a man dictate you shouldn't do that?
Your body, your
Yes,
life.
yeah.
And even though if they're not around, they want to still, like if they're not going to help you take care of that baby, they still want you to like have that baby.
Yeah, that's not fair.
No, I don't believe in that. I know a lot of people don't
Disagree
believe
with this,
in
but
abortion,
Mhm.
but I think every individual, everybody's an individual, and
Yeah.
women do what they think is right for
That's
their
the
body.
woman's body, of
Yeah.
course. And again, why not remove the bullets versus the contraceptives? Why the woman have to take care of it? Snip it.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to tell you, with the alimony.
Uh-huh.
You know what that?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the alimony, back in the days, I think it was only men who used to have to pay because they were the breadwinner.
Right.
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 They were the breadwinner. They paid the woman if they had to take care of the kids and they divorced or whatever.
Some
Yes,
men
they
didn't
did.
do it. They just died. They
Died.
split.
Yeah. But nowadays, I think it goes both ways because the woman is working now, right? There's independence. Women sometimes make more than the man. So if there's a split and the woman is making more, she end up paying the alimony.
Right.
So
I know of a friend also,
Mhm.
a friend, growing up in Trinidad. She got divorced from her husband. She has two little kids, two little boys, and at that time nobody's going to court to get money, or she did not get money from her husband for a long, long, long time, until the sons became older
Uh-huh.
and they have good jobs and everything. So now the father is involved in their life.
Oh, so
So-
she raised them basically by
Yeah,
herself.
she raised them by herself, and now
Mhm.
the father wants them in his life.
Yeah.
And of course the boys are in his life, in
Mhm.
his life. But
He
long
can't
time
take any credit for
long
raising
time
them.
compared to now, again, women's strength. Women have evolved, I think.
Yeah.
Women, they learn so much on the way, maybe by hardship, maybe by love, maybe by speaking to best friends and family members. You build that confidence, that strength.
Yes.
So to your topic about alimony, like nowadays, I think if a couple divorce or something, I think men automatically know they have to help. And yes, the woman, if they have a job,
Yes.
like
If they have a higher paying,
Yeah,
they
they
have to end up
yeah,
paying versus
providing
the guy.
the man is taking care of the
That's true.
Yeah.
Providing the man has, I mean, I don't know too much. That's more of a legal
Yeah.
aspect, but I believe this is what it goes to, because I do know of someone who
Mhm.
she's actually a surgeon. Her husband is another surgeon, and
Mhm.
he was making less than she does, and when they split, they have joint custody. So sometimes the kids go with him, sometimes the kids go with her,
Right.
and because she makes more money, she has to pay the husband.
Yeah, some men don't want to pay, or they just given basic minimum, but it's your child.
But-
or vice
the-
versa, women too. It's your children.
It is your child, but the thing is, these days there are things, there's laws that
Right.
make sure they do.
Yeah.
Both women and men.
Yeah.
So I mean, it like I said, it goes both ways.
The end of the day, what I think men and women are looking for is that we understand each other.
Yeah.
Or we try to understand
Yeah.
each other.
Everybody has to understand where that person sits and how they feel versus just themselves,
Yeah.
because it goes both ways. Men and women have to coexist.
Right.
So
Or two men and two women.
yes, exactly,
Right.
they all have to coexist. So what's good for the goose could be good for the gander.
Right. That was a talk in Trinidad.
There just needs to be understanding, and people just have to recognize that women are not less than men, and
Exactly.
neither
Yeah.
men less
Yeah.
than women too.
So I
Um,
have a joke that I
okay.
heard. I was listening to some program today, and I heard this guy said, and it pertains to what we're talking about with men. But
Yeah.
this, let me read it to you. Men want to be alone, but they don't want to be by themselves.
Ooh, I like that one.
So you tell me what that means. They want to have the cake and eat it, right? I think so. You tell me what you think.
Yeah, yeah.
He
You want
meant it as a joke, but this, like,
that's
for
fine.
me, when this guy said this, it meant that he wants to be alone in the house, but your wife have to stay home with you.
Yeah, that's not fair.
BS.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
See you next time.
Hopefully, we have a. Let us know. Please let us know if what topic you want us to
Yeah,
discuss.
yeah.
Please comment and let us know. Continue to subscribe to our channel. Help us grow. We will appreciate that so much. um, like, comment,
Subscribe.
share everything, please, and tell us what you think. What you think about our podcast. See you soon. Bye.